Hey everyone, blessed Friday to you. I am coming to you again from my daughter's house, able to take a little bit of time out of my busy schedule and come and hang with my grandbaby. But I just wanted this morning to have a little bit of coffee talk with you. You don't know the value of something until you lose it, and sadly, death comes to us all, and how we choose to grieve, each individual has their own way of handling a loss. We live our lives in a very much a trickle down effect. One thing that somebody does somewhere along the line, it does affect us. It does make us reflect on certain situations, and it makes us recall memories. And those of us who have been fortunate and blessed know the lessons that we all learned from asking our parents about their life, what their life was like before any of us came into the picture. I was very fortunate. My dad was a storyteller. Being Italian on my mother's side, they were all storytellers. And I was able to ask the questions, but I still find myself, there are times when I want to go pick up the phone to call my dad to ask him something, and I can't. And those are things that, with loss, no matter how many years go by after somebody is passed, we still want that connection. I think some of us probably would love to have a telephone line directly up to heaven. I think if we could call one person to come sit and have a conversation with us, the unsaid, the unleft questions that we were not able to ask. You want valuable lessons? Sit down with an elderly person and ask them about their life. Ask them about their inspirations. Ask them about their dreams. Ask them what they wanted to do when they were young and as they were growing up. Ask them about how much a loaf of bread was, or what gas, the cost of gas. Ask them about the house that they lived in. Ask them about their toys. My grandma used to tell me she used to love to play ball and jacks. When is the last time you saw a ball and jacks? She would tell me about the porcelain doll that she had that her favorite aunt had given her, and it was broken. Sadly, in one of the moves, they had put it up on the china cabinet so it wouldn't get broke when she was playing with it, but sadly, when they were getting ready to move, they forgot that it was up there, and it broke, and she was heartbroken. My dad used to tell the story about his brother, Ronnie, and somebody was picking on him, and my dad, trying to stick up for him, took a handful of grass and threw it at the person who was being mean to his brother. Little kids trying to protect each other. Storytellers. They wanted to convey messages, and these are things that my kids will come to me and they say, Mom, tell the story about, probably one of my favorite stories about my grandma. Her and my grandpa had run away to get married, and then somewhere along the line, down the line, they got married in church. But it is an Italian tradition back in those days that they could be betrothed to somebody else. And that person that she was betrothed to could kidnap her for 3 days. It was the old Italian way. And if he liked what he saw within the 3 days, then the marriage would continue. Well, my grandpa, not having any like in any of that, they went ahead, ran away, got married. So by the time the guy came to kidnap her, she was already married to somebody else. So it kind of foiled his plan. But it's important to ask questions. Take pictures, write notes. I have a tape from a very long time ago. Rachel was in the 5th grade and she was interviewing my grandma. And my grandma, we have her voice on tape, because I promise you there will be some point in your life where you will want to be able to go back and you'll want to ask a question to your mother, your father, your grandma, your grandpa, and they won't be around to answer it. Grief. You grieve for years. There are moments I still grieve over my dad, because I lost my mom at such a young age. The stories. I long for stories. I long for conversations of coffee with my grandma at the kitchen table. I long for those conversations with my dad in a boat on a lake. I long for that banter that my Aunt Sarah and I used to have because we did not get along. We did not see eye to eye. And I miss those days with my Aunt Phyllis as we were standing in the mirror and we were putting makeup on and we were having conversations about boys and makeup and clothes. And you can't get back what you lost. And grief takes years and it hits you in waves. And grief doesn't necessarily all come just with death. You can have a breakup, you can have a relationship that went south, you could have friendships that went wrong, you can grieve the loss of a job that you're no longer needed at. You can grieve over money that you used to have and now you don't. Nobody can tell you how long it takes to get over something. Nobody can tell you how to grieve. We do live very much a trickle-down effect, and each of our lives is affected by anybody that comes in to our life. I am a writer, so I love to write about stories about my dad and my grandpa. He was a shoe cobbler, and he used to say, I would rather work a long, hard day than have to look over my shoulder for anybody that I owe. My dad used to say a fool and his money is parted too soon. Things that I love to write about. I am fortunate that I have been able to ask the correct questions because once somebody is gone, you don't get those second chances. Take advantage of speaking with your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your aunt, or uncle. Write notes. Have them write out little stories so you can tell your children and your grandchildren about their lives. You only get one mom, you only get one dad, and you want to make sure that you treat them right. Pick up the phone, call them, check on them. I say to Matt all the time, have you heard from your mom? Have you heard from your dad? Do we need to go over there? Because it's important. It is very important to stay in contact and stay in touch because parents don't live forever. And when you look back at their life when you were young and you wonder why you did not spend more time with them, yeah, sometimes they can be annoying and sometimes they can be a pain. But, one life, one go around, you only get one set of parents. So you want to make sure that you take full advantage of the life and the fortunate blessings that you have with your parents. So pick up the phone, go take your mom or your dad to lunch. If they've passed, go to the grave. And although they may not be there, it is just a shell, ash to ash, dust to dust. Have the conversation with your higher power, how blessed you were to be born to that parent. Thank your higher power for all the things that you learned because you were born into a certain family. I was very blessed, a very conundrum of a growing up life, but I am extremely blessed for the family that I had and the lessons that I was taught and the conversations that we were able to have. Some taboo, some not taboo. Every family has skeletons in their closet, and sometimes them skeletons just need to come out so you can get to the root of why you are the way you are, the dynamic and the structure of your family. Back in those days, they did what they needed to do because that's all they knew how to do. We are fortunate in this generation, we are aware of a few more things. You can look at your own kids and you can reflect on how you were raised. And you hope you take the better parts of what you learned from your mom and your dad, and you've done a better job raising your own kids. There are no topics that were ever off subject with my kids. Our lives were open books. They could come to me. They could ask me anything. They still can. They all come to me and they still tell me about things, or we'll be out and they'll say, Mom, tell us the story about So I am Kitryn Marie. I am a writer. I am an artist. I am a speaker. I am a life and a business coach. And as I am reflecting on somebody's life this morning, she was a lovely, lovely lady with a beautiful soul. And I was very, very fortunate for the time that I did get to spend with her. And I did get to sit down and speak with her on a lot of conversations. The pride she had for her grandchildren, the pride she had for her child. Um, Life doesn't always go the way that you want it to go. And sometimes we get involved with people for the right reasons because we are able to learn lessons. So make sure you're asking the right questions with whomever is left in your life. Nobody can tell you how long to grieve over something. Nobody can tell you what's right or what's wrong for what your heart feels. So make sure you're true to your feelings and make sure that you speak and you tell the story. So I am Kitryn Marie. I am a writer. I am an artist. I am a speaker. I am a life and a business coach. Be happy and be blessed into the hands of the Lord. You know, life is good when you allow it to be good for you and you appreciate all the blessings that come into your life. So enjoy your day. I'm going to sit here and reflect a little bit more this morning and drink my coffee and have my conversations with the higher power, because there are good things in this life and we're all entitled to every single one of them. So you take care, and I'll see you real soon.